Hello, everyone, and we're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Is this thing on? What's up? Welcome back to episode 3 of
I know.
Influencers, a Dirty Word.
Can you believe it's episode 3?
I know. It's going so fast. We obviously have our first guest as well.
I know, which I'm super excited about. For anyone who doesn't know. Yeah.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'll let Niamh, you go ahead.
Okay.
You're starting.
Well, I know Mary Kate. Me and Mary Kate had the pleasure of meeting last year. And I personally fell in love with her. She's the most amazing person ever. And you'll see through this by the end of the episode. And if you don't follow her, we'll leave her.
Yeah, we'll put her social media and stuff here so you can
so
go and check
follow
her out.
So not only is she absolutely stunning, she'll also beat the crap out of you because she is an upcoming boxer in Ireland. I'm actually going to go see her fight on Saturday, which I'm super excited
unreal.
about.
That's so exciting.
great.
I didn't even know you were fighting on Saturday.
Yes, I fought over the weekend.
Oh my God, I can't believe you're fighting on Saturday.
Yeah, and I was meant to see it on the 9th, but then I couldn't go see it, so I'm 100% going to see it on Saturday.
Yeah, lovely.
So when you were meant to fight before, or you're fighting now?
I was meant to fight before, and then I ended up staying a little bit longer on my travels.
Oh, amazing, yeah.
Where were you traveling?
I did 3 weeks in Morocco.
Oh, amazing.
I did a meditation course there for 10 days, and then we went to Berlin on the way home.
Oh, how was that? Was it unreal?
Yeah, brilliant.
Did you come
Really
home like
good.
so recharged and refreshed?
Yeah, we came out of, so it was Vipassana, which is a style of meditation. They say that Buddha became enlightened, so I don't know whether that's true or not, but for me it was more of a practice in detachment. So like when I really crave something, it teaches you to not have any sort of cravings or aversions to anything in life, so that you just go with the flow and really listen
That's
to
so interesting.
sensations of the body to detach emotions.
Was that one of those courses where you're not allowed to talk?
Yes, silent.
For 10 days?
Yes.
I've heard, because I've done a little bit of travelling, and as I've been travelling, I've met loads of people that have done these, and like they say it's like life-changing, but I am just so chatty. I just don't think I could show up for 10 days.
I think it's the challenge itself is really beautiful for me. Like the first 3 days were really a struggle.
Yeah.
Because you're not stimulated by anything. You don't have your phone. You don't have anything to write with or read. You're totally on your own, and you're just listening to yourself. So what it can be is like it can pull you down a little bit into like darkness. So if you get caught in a negative thought, or like for me, it was like holding a mirror up to all of my insecurities and my self-doubts and my, just insecurities in myself.
Yeah.
So I really had to fight them off and go like, am I taking
you had
these
no choice really. You just
no
had to
choice.
Yeah.
It's like you're either going to like have a miserable course, or you're going to just say, am I taking these with me through life? No way. And I was like a mad woman, like literally taking off these imaginary bags and just leaving them in the room, being like, I'm not taking them with me through life.
I'm all over that.
It was
love that.
liberating.
Need to do that.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful thing, like really enriching experience.
And are you with people? Like, so are you like completely on your own for 10 days, or are you still surrounded by people?
So there was about 70 people in the camp. So, and the women were segregated and the men. So it was on this beautiful like sustainable farm in just outside Marrakesh in a place called Orica.
Okay.
And so the women and the men were segregated. There was like a big rope down the middle of the farm, and they say, concentrate on your feet. Just don't make eye contact with anyone. There's no body language. Like there's people in close proximity with you all the time.
Yeah.
And in the meditation saal, like you're sitting in a designated space and you're like right next to people, and you can feel people's energy there, but you're not making any contact with them, which is great. It's challenging, but really
That is so challenging.
just rewarding.
I'd love to do it for the experience. I just don't think I could.
I think you can. Like I was nervous beforehand, but the more you think about it, like you're doing this for like self-discovery and like to really grow. Like you want something from it, so you're willing to just give up like
Do you
the power
get
of
like
speech.
do you not get so much into your thoughts that you feel like you're going to go crazy?
Oh, totally.
Because I even know like I spend a lot of time by myself just working if I'm filming or whatever, and I'm just sitting there in silence for 5-6 hours, and I even feel like, God, I need to go talk to someone, because I feel like I've just been like so into
That's
myself.
probably your own meditation though, your own form of like just switching off and really just concentrating on something, which is so important. People don't do that. People are constantly around, and for me, I feel like I struggled with being alone because I just didn't like the way I was speaking to myself. Like my own self talk was quite damaging.
Right,
and it was only when I discovered that, like I was like, right, I need to sit here. I need to actually spend time by myself and meditate.
Is that what made you want to go and do the course?
I guess it was just kind of the natural progression of like my, my love for meditation and my like how much I value it in my life. You know, I wanted to try this, and I thought like maybe I'll do the 3-day course. And then I was like, I like just by my, I don't do anything in a half measure. I
like
was like,
all or
I may as
nothing.
well. Yeah, all or nothing.
And
totally.
when did you find like the love for meditation? Like when was it? Because I've only found it in the past year, and I remember telling you this before. I only found it the past year, and I'm slowly now getting to a point where I can switch off.
Yeah.
Where before I couldn't. Was there any like point where you were like, okay, this is good for me. This is like a thing, or
Yeah, I think it was when I was in 5th and 6th year. Like, how long ago was that? Like 6 or
still
7
so
years
young.
ago.
How old
I'm
are you?
22.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and she's an amazing boxer, and everything she says is just so inspiring.
Yeah,
And
you say
said
you're
she
so
was like-
wise.
Yeah,
I'm like-
so wise, so wise.
We're all wise. Just listen to ourselves.
Yeah,
you know.
very true. But go on,
Yeah.
sorry, you were saying it happened in 5th or 6th year.
Yeah, 5th or 6th year, I was really struggling with like academic pressure, and I had an amazing guidance counsellor, Miss Blaney, who told me to download a Headspace app.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
had
yeah.
that app.
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. It's
so
really
you take
good.
5 minutes a day, and it was very, you know, it was really just pointing out the
And they
obvious.
do like little lessons, don't they? They
That's
give you
it.
like for your first days. For anyone who like struggles with meditation, that's like for me, I found it really worked for me.
Yeah.
And you start off quite slow and you build
Yeah.
yourself up. Headspace app, it's really
yeah,
good.
I use Simple Habit now is like
Oh,
an
okay, is this a new
alternative.
one?
It's similar.
Similar.
I mean, they
So
all kind of do the same thing, but it's guided meditation for 5 minutes, and it just takes you out of the like kind of treadmill of life.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're in school or in college or you're in work and you're not completely satisfied by what you're doing, and your soul gets a little bit, you know, sad, and that's
Yeah.
normal. So you've got to just take time out.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
It's
reset.
actually really funny. In the school I went to, every single week there was a class and it was meditation. So there was a meditation room in my
It's so
school.
That's
important.
amazing.
And it was literally just beanbags.
What school did you go to?
I went to St. Colmcille's Community School.
Amazing.
Shout out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
They're doing it right.
every single week there was a class like the same length as like your English, your maths, whatever. I think it's 40 minutes. And there's a room. It was called the prayer room. So it was basically a room with no tables, no chairs, just massive beanbags, and everyone go in. You pick a beanbag, you lie there, blanket, music's on. The teacher goes around and she does a whole meditation, and
That's
every
incredible.
single class in the whole school got it once a week. It was brilliant.
I
Yeah.
think that's so important, especially in this day and age. And obviously that's a topic like that I think, you know, we're going to touch on eventually. Like it's like for like kids and us and social media these days, and like the whole mental health and anxiety. And I know what helped me was the whole meditation, but to hear that that's in school now, I wish that was there and
Yeah.
like given to me in school.
Yeah,
And that
absolutely.
was like, I mean, well, that was 2007 I started school, and I know it was happening before that. Like my school that I went to it's
Very
not
progressive.
that,
That's
it's
Yeah,
quite a
so
new
good.
school.
Yeah.
Like even at the time when I went there, it was, I think it opened in like 2000 or something like that. But yeah, it's really, really good. And especially I know a lot of my friends in school struggled in school with anxiety and stuff like that, and it was really helpful for them
Yeah.
just to shut off. And even for myself, like I've personally never gone through anything like that, but
Yeah.
I think without even me realizing it helped,
Mhm.
because you could switch off
Yeah.
for 40 minutes every
It's
week.
Like it's so weird. I like when I was in school, I used to. I've my story is gas because when I didn't realize I had anxiety, and I get anxiety in and around my tests, like my mocks or
you were
pre-tests and
saying
stuff.
this to me last
And
week.
to the point where like I had to sit my leaving cert with a reader in the room because the teachers be like, "Look, Niamh is like amazing Monday to Friday." And then as soon as her test comes around, she panics and she does really badly and we don't understand it. But I used to get so worked up and so anxious and put myself under so much pressure.
That you're
And like
just-
I'd be
yeah.
like wouldn't be able to read the question right. I get so worked up. And like back then, even though like I'm not that old, I turned 27 in March. But like back then in school, like it just wasn't spoken about. It wasn't like, you know,
No, it wasn't.
when you were like under any sort of press or just like stress, like I didn't know what to do. I used to go home and just get upset, where really I was just putting myself under fierce amount of pressure and looking at the person next to me, and I wasn't actually just sitting down being like, you're actually okay, like you're just a little bit anxious, let's sit down. And so it came to the point where I was in my leaving cert and I was with a reader, and I had like, I think I was like slightly dyslexic years ago, but I wasn't to the point where I needed a reader in the room, but I actually needed someone with me
Yeah.
to like go through the
Just so
questions, because I would get so freaked out and I had nothing that would help switch me off. And this like carried on to when I first started driving.
Yeah.
And I'd get so worked up and I just couldn't switch off, and I'd shake and I'd cry and I just couldn't find the balance of me like being in tune with myself. So then like a couple of years later, as I said, that's when I got into meditation, and I kind of found like that was like the point for me where I was able to be balanced with myself. And now sometimes, even though I do like go on an absolute mad one and I'll cry or whatever, but that's okay.
I feel like
But,
it's so okay to do that. I feel
Oh,
like everyone...
completely. But now I know, like, that's why I feel like for anyone who ever suffers from those like
Yeah.
burst of emotions at once, that like meditation is so important.
Yeah.
Like,
And even just to have a good cry, I think makes you feel so good.
Yeah.
Like this is so funny. Like I just like was so tired and I have so much work going on at the moment today. I was just like watching YouTube videos. I ended up watching all like people's Oscar speeches from like literally 20 years to now, and I sat there crying for an hour because they were so like emotional, people thanking everyone and how they got there, and I was like, what is my life? I was just sitting there crying in my pajamas.
Sometimes
but I felt really good after.
To release.
Yeah, it's a release. That's a way of you releasing stuff, and you probably needed it. You had like a mad week.
I know. I feel like I actually just
Yeah.
needed that cry, and I didn't even realise I did.
I know.
That's brilliant.
But I think
really good.
What
I
way
know,
though?
isn't
Like
it?
Oscar speeches got
At
me
least
going.
it wasn't coming from yourself. Like that was probably just it was there on a like subconscious
It's
level.
like
and you were
I teared up for one, and then I just was gone.
gone.
I was like, that's me done.
That's great.
so. I think we might as well get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
And it's
Sure, yeah,
honestly so nice to have a lady as our first guest.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I love that. Girl power.
Girl Power International Women's Week this week, women supporting women. So that is happening this Friday, and that is the day that we're all going to celebrate.
Yep.
So can we get to know you a little bit better?
Yeah,
So then I have you.
questions.
No, so this is a quick fire round. So
Okay.
whatever first comes into your head, you have to say it.
Oh,
Because
okay.
there was an example of me when I was doing an interview on RT. I know I've already said this, but I'll tell you.
this is
When
hilarious.
the last person that you've seen in the nude,
Yeah,
and I
Michael
thought they
D.
says in the news, and I was like, Michael T. Higgins. I didn't see him in the nip, I swear. If you could buy any type of food right now, what would you buy?
Quick.
A mango.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to eat them like a jungle kid in school.
Oh my
like for
God,
my
like
lunch.
Mowgli.
Yeah, like literally like tearing into them. Mad. They're great.
Okay, what is the first thing you do when you get up in the morning?
Brush my teeth.
Okay. What's your favourite movie quote?
Oh God. I have no idea. I'm blanking here.
what's your favourite movie?
The Shining. So
Oh,
like,
wow.
here's Johnny.
Here's Johnny.
Red rum. Yeah.
Just describe your perfect kiss in 3 words.
Sloppy washing machine. Little bit of sick.
What's your biggest addiction?
Skipping.
I was going to say we could blurt something out. I'm joking. Skipping, obviously boxing, if that makes sense. How many books have you read so far this year?
I'd 6.
6?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm reading 3 on the go.
I'm like,
though.
it's only
We're
March.
trying to go.
Yeah.
Telling you something, honey. If you were
play.
famous, what would you be famous for?
Boxing.
No,
maybe.
you already are kind of like, yeah. Can't say that.
Something else. Pick something else.
A sex tape.
Fair. Go on.
That's it.
Cheers.
Woo! That cider's working well. We're joking.
It's apple
Okay. What would you do with your 15 minutes of fame?
I would talk about. I'd talk about mental health.
Yeah, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk
good
about
on you.
the service
The
in
service,
Ireland. Yeah.
Service in Ireland. Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. Where would you go if you were invisible?
Probably Mountjoy.
Why?
Just see what it's like. It'd be
Just see what it's
mad in
like.
there.
Yeah. If you could paint anything, what would you paint?
Probably some psychedelic art.
Cool.
Yeah.
What is the most interesting thing you have in your purse or wallet?
Very, very little interesting stuff in there.
Are you
don't
like
really
thinking
know.
of all the things that's in your bag?
I don't even have a purse or wallet with me.
What's one thing you own that you wish you didn't?
A phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, same, but I wouldn't have a job if I didn't have a phone. So, what's the worst job you could have?
An office job.
Yeah, I was going to mine's the
Oh,
same.
same.
Yeah. Well, it depends on
like
what office
feeling
you're
no
working in.
offense.
Some things can be great, but
Yeah.
I would say like
Yeah.
a 9 to 5 mundane, like not getting much natural light. Just
Yeah. That's like, oh God, I just could never do it. I just can't sit still for that long. If you could talk to the president, what would you talk
Oh my God,
about?
that's weird. I just read that.
Weird.
I would talk to him about his life. I'd love to know more about him. He's kind of an enigma, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know much about
nothing
Michael D.
him.
Oh, well, I seen him
Yeah.
in the nude, so.
Yeah.
Neve knows everything about
Ask
him.
about it.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how cool are you?
A 3.
I'd give you a
4.
solid 11, babe.
What TV sitcom family would you be a member of?
I'd like to be a member of The Simpsons.
Who would you want to be?
Oh,
Like
I
an
thought you meant I
extended-
could be myself and just.
Well, yeah, you could
blend
actually.
in.
I
yeah,
suppose. Fair.
Yeah. If I could be a character, I'd be Gloria from Modern Family. She's just.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
she's gas.
So
Can't say
good.
there anymore. How long does it take you to get ready in the morning?
I roll out of bed and I
Brush your teeth.
go straight to brush my teeth.
Isn't that wing liner you have on now? Don't believe that.
Yeah, no, that takes about 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's
I'm terrible at that.
Any other?
Where's the worst place you could get stuck?
The worst place I could get stuck be like in a tube falling over.
You
Like
can't
if you
even
can't move your arms. Yeah, that'd be kind of scary. Little bit of claustrophobia.
Yeah, I hate that feeling of like being so trapped and you're just like, no, not for me.
Sing a Backstreet Boys song.
Oh, I don't know.
Westlife.
Oh my god, when you have to know Westlife song.
You have to leave if you don't know a Westlife song.
I don't
We
know.
got a
Westlife
little
song.
world of our
We got a little world of our own.
We got it. Come on,
Do the little dance.
we got a little world of our own. I'll tell you things that no one else goes. Okay. I had a funny one there. Who's the last person you seen in the nude?
Myself. I actually used to play golf for Munster. Under
course
You know what?
14s
You
now,
never
under 15s.
like it's just full of surprises with you. Like golfer, boxer.
I feel like you do everything.
That's all
Yeah.
I did, really.
How do you have more questions to ask?
No, I actually don't.
I just haven't. How did you get into boxing?
Yeah. So
I got into boxing through a white collar fight night
Okay.
that I organised when I was 18.
So you've only been doing it like recently enough.
Yeah,
Wow.
I've been competing for 3 years.
Cool.
But like I kind of started the boxercise classes and loved it. Like really liked the discipline. But I got involved in like the boxing side of things when I organised a fight night for Crumlin.
oh really?
Cool.
Yeah.
And was boxing always on your like?
I loved watching boxing. Like I always loved and followed it, but I never really like. I'm definitely a very peaceful person, and I would be the least likely to get in a fight. So I think people knew that and wanted to come and see me fight in this fight night. Now they were kind of like, "Oh, we'll see Mary Kate get the shit kicked out of her. Like
And
it's
you
going to be
were
hilarious." And then I really enjoyed
good.
it.
And you were
Loved-
good, and everyone was like,
I definitely wouldn't say I was good, but I had a lot of heart, you know, and that's
Yeah.
so important in boxing and in sport in general. Like,
Yeah, of course it is.
you know, you can give all the skill, you can have all this like natural talent, but if you don't have heart, if you don't want it, you
Yeah.
know,
Of
and I
course.
really felt like from the moment I got in the ring, I was like, I want this, you know.
Really?
Yeah, I felt really like myself.
Yeah.
"That's so cool."
You
I
know?
love that, especially because you only started like late, not late enough.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
but, you know, I feel like with sports, a
love-
lot of people start off really young, and
That's it.
It's
yeah.
really-
And you didn't
interesting.
start young.
No, I started when I was
yeah.
like 19. I
And
got my
you
boxing
know,
license.
and when did you do your golfing then?
Oh, that was under 15s.
Oh, that was under
Yeah.
15.
I
Did you
loved
enjoy-
it, but I didn't
Love
love it.
it.
Yeah.
I can't believe you played for Munster.
Yeah, it was gas.
I know. Just like,
Junior. It was so funny looking back on that. Like that's where my parents thought for a while, like that's what I might do. And yeah, I just wasn't. And they were so sound. Like they would never push me into anything.
Anything
You know,
that
they
you
were
didn't
like,
wanna
"Oh, she
do."
doesn't like it. Cool. Let's stop that."
yeah. We asked a few of our questions that with celebrating International Women's Day. And
yeah,
what
let's
do you think?
that. Yeah, we'd
let's
love
go
it.
for it.
I'll just take a gulp of this. I get flowy on the drink. Woo! Joking. What did I say last week that was inappropriate? Did I say something? Or was it
A
inappropriate?
lot of things last week were quite inappropriate, I feel.
Oh, if you had been here last week. Have you actually any funny stories?
Funny stories.
Anything embarrassing ever
Sorry,
happened to you?
anything
Have you ever
embarrassing.
shit
So
yourself?
Aileen shit herself.
You shit yourself? No way. I haven't
On her
shit
boyfriend's
myself.
flip flop.
You need to watch last week's episode.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, on her flip flop.
Oh my god.
Straight through the G string. G string.
G-string.
G string.
So true.
Yeah.
I'm not even embarrassed about it anymore. Do you know that? The amount of people that wrote to me last time, like, can't believe you shit yourself. Can't believe you actually put that on the internet. I was like,
That's
I
class.
actually
I
don't
love
care.
that.
It's funny. I cared for a year, and it's happened so long ago now that I just
That's
don't.
Have you any
unbelievable.
were you
love
always
that.
like that? I just find you such an open person.
Yeah.
Or were you ever
Yeah, I
not
was.
open?
No, I was always pretty open.
You were always
yeah,
pretty
Yeah,
open.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
God.
you should be.
It's a really
Yeah,
good
it
way
was-
to be.
It's a great
Yeah.
way to be. Like, why?
Not giving a shit. Like,
Yeah, but also just embracing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone
You're
needs
so right.
self-love. So like, go for it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we'll get on to self-love. We have some questions that we're all going to answer.
sure.
Are we ready? Will we all answer this together? Will we do it
Yes.
individually? So, first question, just obviously with International Women's Day and all about supporting women. So, what does it mean for women? What does it mean to be a woman in Ireland in 2019? I feel it's like it's changes now since I've been smaller. But
Yeah. Even in the last year, it's changed with like the whole repeal thing.
Yeah. Oh,
I think it's the
Massively.
best time to be a woman right now, to be
yeah,
honest.
it is. Yeah,
Just about
definitely.
everything that's gone on.
Yeah, I think that to be a woman is such a gift. Like it's a power, you know, and I think that when you embrace that and really tap into your like divine femininity that's there for us all, I think it's a beautiful thing. And yeah, I think that you know, men are fantastic as well. Like we're all equal.
Yeah, we're all
and
so
equal.
I
I don't think that, you know, I get like sex, there's a man and there's a woman, but I think that there's masculine energy and feminine energy in everyone, you know. So
completely.
tapping into that and just embracing both, I think it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, and I love the sisterhood that's developed from all of the women who've gone through like this hardship and this like to get to the voice that we have today. It's still very much a work in progress.
Oh, it's still a massive work in progress. Like there's still a lot of things that need to be worked on in the industry for like women in Ireland. But I think the highlight last year was definitely the repeal.
Yeah,
100%,
which is fantastic. And then obviously all the marches gone on around about the like rape crisis and stuff, and how women are just really sticking together and like
it's great how it's so openly talked about now. I feel like even this last year I've heard more than I ever have. I think it's really good that people aren't afraid to talk about it anymore, because that's what makes it like not like a big taboo subject. When the more people talk about it, it just becomes like normal, you know, that kind of way.
Totally.
And I think that's what needs to happen.
And I think people like saying a little bit outrageous stuff and saying stuff, because like everything at one stage was outrageous, right? So like being able to talk about like sexuality and being able to talk about like tapping into that energy that everyone has, the sexual energy. It's an amazing thing.
Like on that, even with the gay community, it's now legal to be married. And I know my partner's his aunt married a year ago, and now they have a gorgeous baby boy.
Love that.
And you know what I actually seen on the television, I just thought it was lovely. Now I won't mention the person who didn't actually agree with it, but it was an older woman who didn't agree. It was these two women looking after it. It was like a new ad. I don't know whether it was for VHI, I don't know what it was for. And the woman thought it was a bit much. She was like, oh God, I just think that's way too much. Like it's just a bit, it was like women kissing on the ad and like men kissing on the ad, and they were having children and stuff. And I had said like, why is it different? Like, and you just forget that like a couple of generations above us, like that was just unheard of. Their relationships that they did have like could never have been spoken about. And I think it's such a proud time now for Ireland in itself. And it was actually, I actually felt it was so nice to see two women kissing on like the television, getting married, and they had a child, because I know with this little boy that has two mums, he will find that when he sees that ad, he'll see it's normal
for him.
So when he goes to like the schoolyard with his two mummies, everyone else has a mum and dad, where he has two mummies, but like he'll see like these ads that, you know,
it makes him feel accepted as well. It's not like
where you wouldn't have seen that years ago. So I think that's so important for women as well, and I just think it's amazing.
No, it's so good.
And for men too, obviously. But yeah, I know that was one thing that I really liked on the ad, and I remember and it wasn't her fault. She just was a lot older, and she wasn't used to it, and unfortunately she just didn't know any different.
It's like blind ignorance. Like
blind ignorance,
it's like
completely.
you just don't. They just are taught a certain thing, and that's what they stick by. It's like it's like with religion and whatever else. Like that's what you know, and you just stick to it. But
it still filters down, like you know, like from generations before us. Like it was really. I had a lovely moment just before Christmas with like a family friend's younger daughter. Like she's only 3 or 4. And I was chatting to her, and she was like, you know, because she's only got brothers, so she was like, it's me, you and my mom, and that's all. And I was like, it was like sisterhood already, but at the same time I was so like cute. And she was like, and we're all princesses. And I was like, we're not princesses. Like, we're warriors. Like, you know, get it?
Yeah.
And she was like, but I like to wear dresses. And I was like, well, sometimes men like to wear dresses. And she's like, okay, you know, children are good. Humans are good. It's all this society
it's
and like all of this
society teaches you. It's what makes you,
And, you know, that woman that you're speaking about who like objected to the ad, she's probably holding on to that for fear. Like, that's all it is, you know? And she's just, it's fear of the unknown, fear of what she's told herself she can't understand. Of course she can, if she actually tapped into like who she is and listened to herself. Everyone can. But like,
of course.
All of this, you know, this projection that we've been taught to think a certain way, like independent thought is the most important thing that we can do.
Like, I totally agree with you.
You know,
I know. And I just found that amazing, and I know that's just a great thing for women today, and this, you know, that they can feel so comfortable.
It's a great thing for, I think, like the children today, because like when they're older, they're literally just not going to know any different, and they're just going to,
And they can
everything's going to be so
yeah.
normal for them. They're not going to remember a time where it wasn't okay. And that's what I think is really good to be like a child today as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, apart from social media is like the best.
I tell you, actually, I would not like to be in a teenager now.
No, I feel if I was the way I was years ago, not the way I wasn't like bad, but I was like a nervous like
social
girl.
media probably would have made it worse.
I don't know actually. I was like talking to my sister the other day, and she's completely different to me. She's like into art, and she's just like a free spirit and just does what she wants to do, and amazing, and I admire her. Cool. And she said that if she could have picked like two little roads, she said she could have picked a road of like being so self-absorbed in the social media, because some of her group of friends, and she's still friends with them, are mad into like Instagram, Snapchat, on it every day, and Grace just like, nah, like that's not for me.
Even the stuff she posts on Instagram is so cool.
Yeah, but like I'm just so proud of her that was the road that she took, and she just was herself, where my other little cousin, she's like struggling massively, and now she was saying to at a family dinner, she was just like, oh, I get like real bad anxiety, and I'm like looking at her going, does she have anxiety, or is this just social media that's creating
something
these?
That like I was only having this conversation, I think it was with my brother the other day. So my brother's only 14 and he's in 3rd year in school, so like, and he was just saying how like a lot of people his age really struggle with anxiety, and I was saying to him, I was like, it's so weird, because when I was younger there was 2 people I could think of that and we didn't even know it was anxiety at the time. I'm like, why is it that there's so many kids today that are I just feel like there's so many more, or else people just weren't talking about it.
But I don't know, like, is it,
like, do you think it's social media that's making people
but is
like
it we're just so okay to talk about it now?
Yeah.
Or is it because social media, we're okay to talk about it, but social media and loads of other aspects are causing people to have it more? Like, it's just, I think it's a topic open for conversation the whole time, because you just don't know. Like, what would you think? Or
yeah, I definitely think that it's a combination of the two. I think that people are open, people are sharing, and you know the concept of mental health is absolutely, and I think that the more people can share, the more people are healing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and also with social media, I think that brings in enormous pressures, and you know, full of beautiful people putting their best foot forward all the time, and that gets really hard for people who are looking at through such a warped lens. And what I like, I've started speaking to young girls in schools. Yeah, and what I speak like, and social media is something that I always touch on, because unfortunately that's what people, you know, will look at your social media platform, whatever it is, and will judge you. That's what they see, you know, and they like, it's such a tiny part of you, and people start to value themselves based on how many likes, how many followers they have. And it's a really toxic environment. And I think, like, the one thing that I like to say to people is, like, ask yourself, why are you posting this? Like, are you posting this picture, this image, this video, this tweet because you believe in it and you like it, or are you posting it because you're looking for validation from someone else? Yeah. Because if it's the first one, post it all day long and never seek validation or any sort of affirmation from anyone. It's you.
Exactly. And we actually had that. This was a conversation that me and Aideen had just last week. Aideen was wondering. She was like unsure of the photo. I was just like, I think you look amazing in that photo, and you were like, yeah, I know, I'm actually just going to post it. Where before, like, it's hard for us in the sense, Mary Kate, that sometimes that we are putting ourselves out there so much that we kind of almost,
you second guess everything you're about to post, because you're not just posting it. And now I've learned
now, I'm just like, actually no, I love it, I'm just going to throw it up. But there was a time for a while, and it was because of Instagram, and it was because of all these other people on Instagram, that I was like, oh no, I actually don't think I can put that up. Like, I don't think it's that nice. And then I was like, no, I actually think I look nice in that photo, and I'm at a really good place, and it's great, and I'm at a lovely event, or I'm at a lovely time in my life. I'm going to post it. Where before, though, as you said, like, you'll speak to these girls, and I sometimes get myself in those little, and you did last week, only last week.
Like, all the time. And especially, it's so funny with us, like, because obviously we post pictures all the time or whatever, and you'll end up taking, say, 20 pictures, and then you're stuck between 3 photos, and we're always like, which one? And then I'm like, you know what, it's so funny, like, you're freaking out. Like, no one, once you put that picture up, no one's going to have seen those other 2 photos, so no one's going to know the difference in whatever it is. If you like that one photo, just put it up, like.
But that was, remember us at the trip in London? Oh yeah. And it was so funny. Mary Kate was taking photos of me, and you were like, straight away, you were like, that's gorgeous. I think you look the most natural in it. And then I was taking pictures of Mary Kate, and she's kind of standing there. It's like, Mary Kate,
I don't
this
know
is
how
not
to take
you.
a photo.
Remember
I'm just not like, I
was
need to
just
be
like,
doing something.
yeah, that's what I was like, okay, this is not you. Like, and I was just like, stop standing there, because the rest of us were just standing there like,
you get so used to it.
And
like,
it's like, that's not you. Move
Can't do
around,
it.
and then you
Yeah,
did then, and
yeah.
I got gorgeous photographs of her when she was just being her. But it's mad that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like on that,
Absolutely.
just on Instagram. Like,
But
you
it's
just,
so funny that I adopted that. Like in that moment, I was like, oh, this is the right thing to do. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to pose. Like,
Exactly.
no, be yourself.
And it looks so
you know?
forced,
Like,
doesn't
yeah.
it? Like
so
when you're like,
forced.
yeah, totally.
I think it's so powerful for you guys with the platform you have. Like when you're sharing this, like people
Yeah.
are listening and people are going, oh, hang on. Like it's okay to be vulnerable.
Oh,
Like, it's
yeah.
okay.
completely.
That's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
hammer that home. That's
Yeah,
so powerful
that's
for young girls who are
100%.
looking at that, because you know I really think it's enormous pressure on people.
It is, and that's the thing with Instagram. Like you only put up the best things. Like, you know, like I would say I'm quite insecure in parts of myself, and there's so many photos that I have of myself, and I would never in a million years put up on the internet, because I'm like, fuck no, I don't want anyone to see that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why? Like it's
Yeah.
literally the way I am. But you get so used to seeing yourself looking so like perfect on Instagram that when you see a bad photo, you're like, oh my god, like I'm fucking wrong. Hate my life.
Yeah, no, and you shouldn't think that.
No, but I'm
But
just
as-
saying you do
Yeah.
get like that,
No,
don't
of
you?
course you
Because
do. And
that's
then
why
you
I
just-
made my other Instagram page, because like, so I have 2 Instagram pages. One is like my makeup, and one is called like Real AIDEEN Kate, and it's just funny
the funny
photos. Like
videos.
there's literally photos of me with double chins, everything, and I don't care. I'm like, that is just, I'm putting it out there,
Yeah.
and like it's
It's
funny,
actually
and it's now
gas.
just turned into
We
like
should
a really
actually
funny
get a
page.
photograph of the three of us for that one, for the
Yeah,
craft.
definitely.
What are the misconceptions and stereotypes about women that you'd like to change? I think I'd love to change, like, this isn't, you know, like that women aren't mad, you know, like psychos when they break up with their boyfriends, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely
Do you know,
feel
like,
like
the
there's a
business-
perception that women are more emotional than men.
yeah,
you know
sorry,
what?
that's what I'm trying to say, more emotional and more like,
Volatile.
yeah,
And that
volatile.
women are
volatile,
Volatile.
absolutely.
that women aren't sluts. It's like if a girl
Yeah.
sleeps with 2 guys in 1 week and a guy
Oh,
sleeps with 3
sorry.
girls in a week, the girl's like an absolute hoe.
That was another thing that came up obviously last
That, I
year.
never
in
understand that.
Believer. Yeah. And that is something, and I do have to really, I just don't get it when
I
2
never
guys
get
can
that.
sleep with a girl, but when 2 girls sleep with a guy and the guy isn't like put in this bracket of being anything but like when
It's
it's
fine
a girl.
for a guy to do, but if a girl does it, they're slut.
Yeah, I just think it's like
Yeah, I don't get
madness. And I remember like whatever that story went on, if it was true, if it wasn't true, I think the whole point that like I kind of stood behind was that she was just made out to be like the
What do
slut.
you-
Like she was just a slut, like whether she wanted it or not, she didn't want it. Like
Yeah.
Are you
she
talking
was
about a
just-
particular story?
what?
The Belfast trial, I
Yeah,
assume.
the Belfast
Oh,
trial,
sorry,
yeah.
I didn't. Sorry.
Just, you know, around the whole I believe her just kind of
Yeah.
happened after. Was it before or after the repeal? One of them anyway, and it was
It was around
obviously a
the
big
same time.
massive women just really got together and was just like, no, it isn't right, and I totally stand by that. I think it's wrong.
I think there were a few women too, though, that, you know, kind of really attacked her and lay into her almost to fit in with the locker room talk that's going on
Yeah.
amongst the lads. And
I
I think
also-
that the biggest
yeah.
thing is that locker room has to stop. Like that,
Yeah.
that casual throwaway comments that people just post online, and they see the most powerful man in the world, apparently, Donald Trump, speaking like
Yeah.
this casually and getting away with it.
One little thing is like grows into this big fucking massive tree of like,
I know. That's the thing with me. Like when all that stuff happened, like not that I didn't want to speak up about it, but I personally chose to not talk about it on my social media, because for me it's one of those things that unless you're there, you don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And you're only going off what you heard the next person, but that could have been a rumor, which could have been a rumor, and it all just spirals. So for me, I mean, like I obviously, like I think like absolutely like good on her for standing up for herself. But we weren't
think,
there. You
yeah,
know, that
I
kind
know,
of way,
but
it's
I
really
know.
hard to tell what actually happened. And I'm not saying any who was right and who was wrong. I wasn't there. I don't know. But I think that's what, with that whole trial, I found really interesting how people were just straight away just being like, well, this is what happened, that's what happened. And it's like, well, you weren't there. You're only
Yeah,
going
but
off.
the media bias plays in massively to that too.
Yeah.
That's what I
You know,
mean.
and
like-
tainting views of people, and again, just the judicial system favors the offender.
yeah.
yeah,
You know, that's the way it is. It's set up. You know, like bringing a claim to the court, like, you know, if it's an awful thing to say, but like in this day and age, like the way that judiciary assess these cases, like it's so in favor of the offender that I'd almost, if it was a close friend, like, you know, you're kind of like, unless there's a massive change, and there should be like massive legislative change that has to go on, you kind of think like you're setting yourself up for failure almost.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing to say to somebody who's gone through the trauma of abuse, whether it's a man or a woman. Like you're it's a hard one. Really hard.
It's so hard. And it was actually really hard to watch, I feel, and I can't even imagine what it was like for the people involved. But I almost felt sorry for what was being said about the girl, like people saying X about or whatever. I felt like saying just like people need to, unless your opinion is going to actually change the situation, unless you're going to use your voice to make a change, it's like just shut up talking shit. Like
I know
that's what annoys me about social media as well, when people just think it's toxic. Like, it's so toxic. And like even those stupid groups and people just talk and bitch about everyone, and I'm like, it's gossip, and I know it's like anything, but it's like, what are you getting out of that?
I know,
like, but also, get a hobby, like, do you know what I mean?
Like one of the mantras that I live by, I haven't always, but like thankfully in recent years I have, is just give people the freedom to think what they want.
And
that just takes all the pressure off you. It's like, don't stress what you can't control.
And
so true.
You were so right, and that was something that I actually believed in completely last year, because when I was going through, obviously everyone knows I went through like a bad breakup, and I never came on, and that's the thing what you get when you're on social media and you put your relationship out there and you put yourself out there, like you're giving people a reason to talk. And I found it really hard going on, like even the other day I was actually looking at it after we put up how to deal with a breakup, and these girls from the group were like, oh, she's finally talking about it. And then one was just like, oh, I heard she's on drugs the whole time. She said something about being cheated on. I thought she cheated on him. I thought she was with her trainer, and all these things. And I got it the whole time last year. I used to get so many messages, and I was dealing with so much myself, like mentally, and like trying to like work through massive changes in my life, and like trying to better myself and get these skills to be better and deal with it better and not be upset the whole time. And I remember like just looking at this, and you're so right, you need to create that mantra to be like totally like let people think what you want, and when you're okay with that, you're fine, and the truth, and your self-worth. So I totally stand by in that. Like that's such a great thing, such a great thing to do, because I know that's what got me through.
I think I said it to you, or I said it to one of the girls before. I was like, think of all the shit that like Kim Kardashian gets, and do you think she gives a fuck? Like, she's living in her mansion, living her best life. Like, you just have to like,
I know, but I think when it's exactly, but I think when it's on like a personal kind of level,
it's hard. It's hard to read those things about you, like when it's not true. When you know the absolute truth, whether it's about yourself, your friend, whoever, and you're reading that online, it's like infuriating, because you're like, that's not what happened, and you're spreading a vicious rumor, and then people believe it, and then. Like you said though, there's nothing you can do about it. It's always going to be there, and you just have to
you've got to be so protective, like to keep yourself sane. And like in my opinion, you've got to be really protective about energies that you allow into yourself. Like Instagram for me, I think it can be an incredible tool where it like links like-minded people and people who are like promoting positive messages and like really trying to make structural change in Ireland and the life that we're living right now. But I also think that like I often I put up a picture, and then I'm like, I check like a few minutes later, I'm like, who's liking that? And then I'm like, oh, like you just feel like you're letting all of these people in. You've got to be so like, whew, just let it go. Let it go. Like just don't think about it. Because I really do feel like there are people out there like the Kim Kardashians who've just cracked it. Like that's it. They've got their life, they've got their family.
The positives outweigh the negatives 100%.
Give people the freedom to think whatever they want.
Exactly, yeah.
Because there's going to be criticism.
Like you said, it's out of your control. People are always going to talk, always going to have an opinion. There's nothing you can do. And I feel like that goes like for every walk of life, with everything you do, not just if you're on social media or not. Like
absolutely,
just in general,
everything.
You just have to do you, like whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, and I love talking to girls' schools, because like I was there for like 16
That's
years.
Amazing. And what made you get into like talking to girls' schools? And
just
you're so good at this too. I feel like you're wise beyond your years, like really.
Well, I guess like my parents always joke, they're like, Mary Kate, you've lived 10 lives, and it's probably true. Like I left the home when I was 9 because I had to go to hospital. I was in there for 3 years in Crumlin, and that's the link why I set up the fight night for Crumlin. I absolutely owe a lot to them, but eventually they just couldn't help me. I couldn't get the mental health that I needed when I was diagnosed with anorexia. So then my parents sent me to London to a psychiatric ward there. Like it was.
And this is when you were 9.
No, so I was in Crumlin until I was 11, and then I went to Great Ormond Street.
Okay.
To the Mildred Creek unit there, which is like a specialised psychiatric unit for really, really sick kids. All underage, because there was no underage here, and I was too young to go to John of God's. I was too young to go to Pat's. Pat's have a unit now, but they didn't.
I feel like people like, look, I don't know a lot about this subject, so like if you don't want to talk about any of this, it's like
I'm good to talk about it. Absolutely.
Okay, because I don't know, and I don't want to be like invasive or anything.
Not at all.
But like, I would never even have thought kids that young would have gone through something like that. For me, I just associate anorexia or something like that, which is like a teenager kind of, you know, the kind of way that, like, because I feel like when you're young, and obviously not everyone, you don't really know any different. You're just kind of playing with your toys and playing with your friends. But obviously that's something that happened to you when you were really young. And like, what triggered that in you?
A few different things. I think it was from trauma, and not being able to express it and not being able to deal with it as a kid. And I really just wanted to suppress that as much as I could. And it was a loss of control for me. And what I wanted to control was my food. And I got a buzz from losing weight, from shocking people when I was really thin, like making my friends cry because they were scared, because they didn't understand like why Mary Kate's walking around looking like a skeleton. You know, like that for me was a buzz. And I was really sick, you know. I really I was in a really dark place, and so when my parents decided like, you're too sick for school, you're going to go into Crumlin, that was really hard. But I didn't get the help that I needed. I didn't like, I wasn't able to.
It's so sad that we didn't have that for you, like in Ireland at that time.
Yeah, well, you know, they're improving now, and there are wards, but there's such a backlog. There are not enough beds for people who need it. And I remember like being in, because I started off in the cardiac unit, and then I moved to the burns ward, and then I moved to the bones ward. So I was kind of moving around, and I remember like a nurse coming into me, and she was like, you're using up a bed for a person who's actually sick. So that just kind of shows you like in 2009, 2010, like where people were at.
That is actually, I think that's the fucking worst thing you could ever say to somebody. Like,
but I like at that point I was like, I don't have a problem. So I was like, you're so right, sister. Like you've absolutely got it down. You know, I was in complete denial.
You almost probably wanted them to say that.
Yeah, I was like, let me out of here.
Anything I've ever, like any documentary I've ever watched or anything about anorexia, what I've kind of learned from it, what I assume happens is that you don't even realize what in your head you look completely different to what other people see you as.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
There's like a body dysmorphia there, and I'm actually writing a book at the moment.
Oh, amazing.
Called The Mirror That Won't Talk, and that's all about how it's body image dysmorphia. Like you can't actually see what's in front of you, and you're blinded by that. But for me, it was actually deeper. It wasn't even like that I desired so much to be thin, although I did. It was this buzz that I got off starving myself. The feeling of like having nothing in my body and just being tired and just kind of punishing myself because I had no love for who I was, like no love at all. Which is why I value so much the place that I'm in today, where I'm able to go like, flaws and all, but this is me. And that's why I love talking to girls and love talking to guys. I love talking to everyone about how important it is to actually take a few minutes to go, I've done really well today.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Like it's so important.
Yeah, and like I would never have known that about you. Like just judging on like what we talked about the past 20 minutes or whatever. Like you're so confident and you seem really content within yourself, which is like an amazing like thing. It's a nice aura like to even spread around. Like, but
that's, as you can see, this is why I love her, and this is why she's our first guest.
Yeah, like it's just, I actually think it's a really nice message to anyone that is listening to this podcast that is going through anything. It's like you can come out of it.
Yeah,
like,
you absolutely can.
Go on. So you went from Crumlin to Great Ormond Street.
Yeah.
And you were there for...
I was there as an inpatient for close to a year, and then it was another year as an outpatient. So I went back and forth every Tuesday. I'd have my meetings, like fly to London and fly home in the evenings. And we did that. My parents were like incredible. And it's interesting now because I'm kind of gathering as much like as I can for the book, like all my dad's emails back and forth with my psychiatrist from.
And how is it going back to that? Is it
what I thought it would be and what it actually is so different.
Right.
You know, I thought it would be a really like it would be an exercise in healing. You know, letting it out and knowing that the reason why I'm writing it is so it can go to the families of people who are struggling with anorexia, the girls, the boys who are struggling with anorexia, the men, the women who have addictions, who are like it's an addiction.
It is
an
addiction. Yeah.
So like I wanted to help people, but what it is in reality is it's so traumatic for me to write it.
Yeah,
like it's
I'd
taking
imagine.
so much. Like I love it because I'm like, oh, it's gonna be good, but writing it right now is like,
It's taken a lot.
Yeah,
I'd imagine
yeah.
it is.
yeah, but it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I know it's going
Yeah.
to go to people and hopefully help them. And you know, the people who I'm writing it with really love the first part of it and they're feeling really
Yeah, I'd
good.
imagine. I can't wait to read it.
And
I'm
do
so
have you
excited.
any idea when you'll be able to share this amazing book with the world? Not only I'd say it'll help girls with, you know, obviously what you went through, but I'd say it's going to help. I think everyone should probably read this book
I
and it'll
agree.
give them such a life lesson.
Yeah,
And how
I would
to-
like to take it up to, you know, where I am now and, you know, like the importance of meditation, mindfulness, heartfulness, you know,
Yeah.
just tapping into your heart energy and really trusting yourself. Because I think, you know, in our, you know, society, we've got to have a plan. We've got to know where we're going and we follow in the footsteps of others and the greats, and which is fantastic. But, you know, I was asked the other day, do I have an icon? Like I have so many icons, like
Yeah.
everyone in my life, I value some sort of trait in them and I try to embody it. But we're so obsessed with following people and looking, you know, this is what we're meant to be doing. This is the trend. This is important.
Living
now.
your life through someone else. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's so, people are just not trusting themselves, not listening to themselves,
Yeah.
tapping into who they are. Like it's so important to do that. Because we're all, like you started off by saying I'm wise. I'm just as wise as everyone else.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, we're all so wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like trust yourself.
Yeah. And do you mind me asking like how you got better? Like what
Yeah.
was the moment where you were like, okay.
So there was I definitely feel like there was a few moments. So where I went to in London was really strict. Like was very much you don't see your family if you're not.
So you
taking part.
you like lived, it was almost like a
Oh yeah, yeah. It
like
was
a, like a house. Like
it
you all
was
lived in.
it was like a ward. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was a patient there, and there was a few like I mean there was just some like real traumatic times, and like I was just when I went in I stopped talking. Like I was like nope, completely shutting down. You know.
Was that your way of rebelling against your parents kind of because you didn't want to be there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But I really had to find my own voice. Like I had a choice basically, you know, I was like, am I going to just, you know, kill myself, just keep going down this dark road? Or am I going to like actually see the value in becoming myself? Like for so long, I was just anorexia, you know,
Yeah.
like all I knew was I like not eating. Basically, do you know,
Yeah.
like I love starving myself, but I didn't in that darkness. There's no love, there's no hate, there's no empathy, there's nothing. Like you have no sensations. You're just
That's the only
on
thing
a
in your
mission.
mind, and that's
Totally.
you're not going to stop till you get it.
yeah. And I think there was a light bulb moment for me where, you know, I had not seen my parents in a long time, not seen my family. I was in a different country, you know, and when you're 11, that's like
Yeah,
a
you're
lot.
a child. You're
you know,
a kid.
like-
That is,
Yeah, and so I was kind of like, yeah, maybe I do have a problem. You know, maybe all of these doctors who for the last 3 years have been saying you're sick, maybe they have a point.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I'm not actually doing well here. Maybe I'm not enjoying this.
Yeah.
You know, and then that would come like the retaliation from the anorexic brain would come back so hard there being like what do you mean? Like I couldn't trust anyone. Like anyone who showed kindness to me, I was like, they want to make me fat. They want to
Oh,
feed me.
no,
They want
yeah.
to like that's where you're at, you know.
There was ulterior motives in your head.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
everyone had it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had no friends. I had no connections in my life. You know, I didn't
Yeah.
trust my parents because they were just after like making the biggest betrayal against me that they ever had in my eyes. When in fact
It was for pure love, like.
oh, pure love.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the hardest thing they had to do. You know, like
Yeah.
just leave me there. Like that's hard.
I
You know.
Jesus.
Like I'd say
Yeah.
for most parents it's like unimaginable, but it was the right thing to do.
Oh, completely. I wouldn't be here.
yeah.
You know that. I really
Yeah.
wouldn't. Like it's an amazing thing. But I owe so
You
much. to them.
definitely have such a purpose now being here, and I feel like your
100%.
voice and like this book that you're going to bring out. When you said it to me, I obviously heard your story before, and I was so moved by it, and just the woman that you are now, and I just find you so inspiring.
Me too.
I really like applaud you on like your successes now and how incredible you are, and how you've created now this successful platform, not only in sport but with your voice, and how you're going to change a lot of girls, and how you're going into different schools. Like I'm even getting a little bit emotional.
Me
I just think
too. When you're
just
talking,
so,
it's like
you're just like it was so unfortunate what you went through, but like your voice now is just going to be so valued and appreciated for so many.
it's like what Neve said. Like,
Yeah.
it's like your
Girls.
purpose,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But I always believe like sometimes bad things are supposed to happen in your life for you to figure out
Yeah,
what
where you meant to go.
the good, like
Oh,
where you're meant to be.
completely.
I always believe that. I feel like anytime you've been through a shit situation, you have to sit and you're like, why did this happen? This happened for whatever reason, and you have to figure out whatever the fuck that reason is. And when you do, it'll be great.
That's it.
And come here, tell us, is your book going to be here soon, or how is it? You're still working on it?
I'm still very much working on it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Still working on it. I say the bulk of it will be written this summer. You know, when because I'm
Oh my God,
obviously in
I'm
college.
dying to read it
yeah.
already.
Yeah, sorry, you're in college as well. What are you
What do you do
studying?
in college?
Law.
No. Yeah,
Good
she was
woman.
over in fucking, she was over in Washington last year and everything. You're amazing.
Unreal.
Doing
Where
it.
are you studying?
In Trinity.
Oh, nice.
Fucking Washington with the
Fucking Washington.
trying to change things in America. I see that too. But yeah, I absolutely applaud you, and you're such an incredible girl and a lady. And for anyone who's watching this, I'll know they'll really cherish and love this as much as we have here.
Thank you so much, guys.
So we're gonna make it
Thanks
fun now.
everyone.
You're going head to head, and I'm in the middle.
Okay, brilliant.
B or B.
I'm scared.
But you have to put your blind masks on.
Yeah, that's why I'm scared. I'm nervous with this blindfold on more because of what you're going to fucking do.
Oh, this one has like a nose. These are good. I can't see anything.
So we thought we'd do a bit of crack.
Do a bit of crack.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. So as you can see, I've blindfolded AIDEEN and MK because we're gonna have a bit of crack here.
I actually feel like
So you can see what's on there. We're gonna have this is gas. Okay, right. Are you ready, guys?
Yeah.
No.
So the whole idea of this game is you have to taste it and you have to tell me what it is, and the first person who gets it right gets it. Ding 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 ding.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is honestly the most nerve-wracking thing ever.
All right. Okay. So maybe I'll just give you your hand and maybe you could try. Okay. You ready, guys? Okay.
Are you putting it in my hand or are you putting it in my mouth?
Do we guess at the same time?
It'll say it on the screen what it is.
Oh yeah. Okay. So
Are
you
we-
ready? Here you go.
Oh my God, what
Stop.
You can just take a little bite of it now. You don't have to have the whole thing.
the fuck?
And you, ready? Go. Take a bite. Bite. Quick. Quick.
Microphone. That's a dried fruit of some sort.
I'm
Okay.
fucking terrified. What the hell is
Yeah.
that?
Did you have a bite?
No.
Yeah. Okay. What is it? Come on.
Fig or something.
Oh no.
A prune.
A date.
Yes. Ding,
Yeah,
ding,
go
ding.
on.
Okay. I'll give it to me. I'll put it back. Okay. You ready? Now.
Yeah, put it. Yeah, because
Because they're
Put it in my...
Feel it. Oh yeah.
the actual like.
you're at the same time.
Oh,
What?
Okay. Open your mouth. 1, 2, 3.
oh, onion. All right.
Oh my God. Ew.
That's actually not bad. I like onion.
What type of onion?
Oh, red onion.
Oh, good on you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
That is pungent.
Okay.
Spice.
Wow, I wasn't into that.
Just down the hatch.
Oh no, what is this?
Neve. What is it?
Oh, open up, ladies.
Come on.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
No.
2, 3, go.
Oh, you're sick. Oh my God.
What the fuck?
What is it? Cheese?
No.
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 Tastes like a stock cube.
What the fuck? What the fuck is that? Excuse me.
You're not gonna get it.
Yeah, I do. I know what this is. I've had
Yeah,
this before.
me
man.
too. I'm like, what is
Come
that?
on, let
Oh, it's Marmite.
Yes.
Oh no, I've never had that
Well,
before.
point for Mary Kate.
Can you take this away?
Fair play to
ate
Mary
it.
Kate. She ate it.
Oh,
eating
that's
them all.
horrible.
Okay.
Whew. I haven't had my dinner.
That tastes like literally like a fucking stock cube.
It does actually. You've eaten the stock cube.
Oh my God, that sounded so watery. Or was that
Okay.
something else?
You put this boat in your hand because you drink at the same time. Okay.
Oh God.
On your marks, get set, go.
Oh, wine. White wine.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Okay.
I knew that one straight away.
Okay.
White wine. Red wine.
Next up, Open mouth, wide, ready?
Oh.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my god, I hate olives.
He stuck out my fucking nose.
That's not good.
I didn't even get to taste it. I don't know what the
Okay,
fuck
okay.
that
So
was.
it's a green olive.
Yeah, you're
Jesus. Neve, is there anything nice here?
Oh my
I
god.
thought you were
like-
bringing like jelly tarts and...
on your
I
marks.
wish. Oh.
Get set, go.
Sandwich.
Did you make a sandwich?
What's on the sandwich?
Oh, it's sandwich
Pesto.
tomato and pesto.
Pesto.
Yeah,
Bit of butter.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. Cheese.
no. Come on.
It just tastes like pesto.
Chicken.
Yeah, Mary Kate is winning.
It's actually really nice.
Okay, you can finish
I
it.
finished it.
Yeah. Okay, clear the palate now, guys.
Right.
John, some of your wine.
No.
Okay.
Did you make it? Did you make that sandwich?
That's a really good sandwich. I'm a fan. I don't like the silence. The silence scares me. Oh god.
Ready? Open your mouth.
I'm so scared.
There's chocolate with Marmite on it. Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what type of chocolate is it?
Cadbury's.
No.
I'm
Got
really
something-
bad at
There's
this.
a bit of caramel in there.
Yeah.
Is it Dairy Milk caramel?
Nope.
It's gone now.
Oh, it's
Galaxy
monkeys.
Yeah, well done. Point for Aileen.
I don't know what a monkey is.
Next up.
Wait, I still have this in my mouth. One sec.
You swallow. I was gonna get cinnamon, but that was really, really bad.
Oh, the cinnamon challenge.
Yeah.
Awful.
Okay. Open the mouth. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's that red thing that you had on.
It's a raisin.
No, that was
goji
a
berry.
goji berry.
Was
No,
it
you're
goji
right.
berry?
Yours are
A raisin, yeah.
Yeah, raisin.
Aw. It
Okay.
tastes like raisin.
Last but not least,
You look like food all over.
I have a.
Anything nice?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
one you might like.
All right.
Ready? On your marks. Get set. Go.
Oh my god.
What is
What
that?
the fuck is that? I was gonna say pickle. Wait,
Oh, put it in your mouth now.
wait, is that sushi?
It's like a
Yeah, it's sushi.
Oh,
Yeah, vegetable
Unreal.
sushi.
yum.
Is there anything else there?
The texture of
Do you want to get that one? Get one of the things in there. How do you like the food so far?
It's good. Really
Yeah.
good, Chef Neve.
I liked
Thank
the
you.
little
Fair play to you.
sandwich and I liked the sushi.
I thought the prune trees for the first one.
Yeah, it was just the texture.
texture
It was
that
a
is
wet
bizarre.
prune.
It
Like
was
if that was
so-
a dried prune, I'm all over it. But that was wet.
It was
You've been
so
soaking that in
weird.
something.
It was so squishy. It was just like bizarre.
Can I take this off?
No, not yet. We have a tiebreaker.
I see.
Tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker.
I'm definitely losing. I'm doing.
No,
Is
you're
anyone
doing.
keeping score?
No, we're gonna have to look back at that.
Oh my god, what the fuck is that?
Oh, happy day.
Eve, you're actually
Oh,
making me so nervous. What the fuck?
Oh, I need help.
It's a screw top anyway, whatever it is.
Now, when you put this in your mouth, I want you to both describe the flavours for me.
All right.
Oh, wait a sec, it's coming now. Where is it? Yeah. The service here.
I thought you were done.
Ah,
Save themselves.
really?
Get a look. You can't say what it is.
Keep it on for a sec now. We're nearly there.
Sorry, I just burped.
Oh my god,
okay.
I burped at the exact same time as you. That's so funny.
Yeah. Okay.
What? I'm so nervous. The noise of that. Oh my god.
Stop. That's coming out slow.
I feel like this is gonna be like gloop. Oh my
A
god.
screw top with something slow, like an oil.
Is it gonna be like mayonnaise or something? Oh my god,
maybe.
I actually think I'd get sick if you put a spoonful of mayonnaise on my mouth. Oh God, stop! What?
Oh. Oh. Let me just tell you something. You've both had this once in your life before, I can say. There you go.
I'm like,
Here you go.
Where are you?
Jesus, it's heavy.
Oh, are you handing it to me?
Wait.
Okay.
What the fuck?
And then you just knock it back
Oh,
like.
it's in a cup. Oh, it's the
Okay. And then when it
It's
gets
like
into your mouth,
jelly. I can
and when it
feel
gets
it
into your
moving.
mouth, I want you to describe the flavours for me.
All right.
apple.
1, 2, 3, go.
That is
I said
fucking
go.
vile. I'm not licking that.
Well, lick it then.
I did lick it.
Ew.
Tastes like
It's,
nothing.
Describe the flavours. Say it
Like a
again.
bit of pear, maybe.
No, it's an ambrosia, like it's a custard. It's a rice pudding, is it?
Yeah, you're nearly there.
It is, isn't it? It's custard.
Custard, yeah.
Is it custard?
Yeah.
Not a good custard.
What type of custard though?
I don't know. I don't like custard. I wouldn't know.
Who would you feed that to?
A baby.
Baby food. Fuck's sake.
It's baby food.
It's for a baby.
Are we done? Can I take this
Yeah,
off?
John. Was that funny?
Oh.
I thought it was gas.
Oh my God, that looks so rotten.
Yeah.
Oh fucking hell, you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the olive.
Girls, I was so close to getting dog food. You've no idea.
I actually don't think I would have actually minded that.
That would have been
compared
better
to
than the
someone
olive.
I was gonna get you little treats and you had to.
Where's it gone?
On the deck.
Right.
Literally, she was
Will
like,
we, how
shoving
will
up
we,
my nose.
will we wrap it up with it? So I think Mary Kay. Yeah, I would touch her with this hand, but Mary Kay is the winner of the tasting challenge.
Fair,
I
rightly
feel,
so.
you know what we should have done? We probably should have done the chubby bunny one.
Oh my God.
Oh, I love that.
Did you ever do the chubby
Yeah,
bunny?
yeah.
So
I have a massive mouth out of it.
oh my God, I feel like the next challenge now should be we need. I'm a champion.
Are you?
I can
Yeah, you're. Really, I just start laughing and
I
then it
can
all
fit
just starts
so much in
spewing
my
out.
mouth. You've no idea.
Oh, fair play to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
What? You weren't making it dirty for?
Like
I wasn't.
I was.
Okay.
You've got all over your
Yeah,
teeth.
prune juice. You squeezed it when I handed it to you and it went all over it. It's okay.
That prune looks mad, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a
The texture of that is bizarre when you actually can't see it.
So what flavour is it?
Custard, you were right. Well done. Your palate is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. I
Fantastic.
hadn't a fucking clue what was going on for half of that.
Well, that was like a bit of fun to end it.
Your nail.
I know. I was like Marmite, like.
I never had Marmite before. That
Sorry, you're the loser. You have to lick
No.
this off.
My God.
Okay, so
Yeah, we done? The end of our
are we done?
podcast.
That was a long one, but it was really enjoyable. And
Yeah,
I just,
thank you so much
again,
for coming on.
Mary Kay, thank you so much for coming on. And we're gonna leave Mary Kate's handle down
Yeah,
here if you would like
you
to go
gotta go
follow her on
follow her.
Instagram. If you've loved her through this, you'll love her even more of what she shares. She shares amazing posts as well, and I wish you all the success in
Me
boxing.
too.
Thank you for having me.
And with
Yeah.
your
For being
book as
first
well.
guest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Great
well,
guest to have.
Yeah, fucking
so
the
much.
best guest we'll probably ever have.
No, it's a low bar. But
No.
Just sorry, receive it. Receive it.
Yes,
Receive
stop.
it.
True,
Receive
true.
it.
Thank you.
Accept the
Yeah.
the uplift.
Okay, well that's it for episode 3. I can't believe we're at episode 3, Ada.
I
Can
know,
you believe it?
it's flying in, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mad. But I just want to thank you again for tuning in. We really hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sure some of you will feel. I know a lot of you
I can't. You just
feel
like
really
flacking.
inspired. Where I have baby food and Marmite all over them. But
We
yeah,
hope
that's
you
it.
enjoyed this, yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget to come follow us on our social medias as always.
And like and what's it
Like and subscribe. And
yeah.
we'll see you in the next podcast.
Influence the dirty word. We
Bye.
out. Bye.
Okay.
Bye. Say bye.
Oh, bye.